the Hall of Haitch. Triple H is in charge of the Hall of
we didn't
Fame.
go to Kenny.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a bad transition. So there you go. A lot of people, so regarding the Hall of Fame this year, fall under Triple H for the first time instead of McMahon. It's likely still the same basic rules regarding women, minorities, and characters that the audience would know, and those who make politically for a variety of reasons. I think Triple H may be a little more open to certain types since he was a fan of more than just WWE, but once WWE owned the tape libraries of a lot of that stigma was gone. I was told that, for example, if there's a political reason to put someone in that Nick Khan would want, that would want to be a factor, but the Hall of Fame is under creative, and that's Triple H's department, in theory, signed to anyone. So it would be interesting. I know that, but Triple H was always that guy to smooth stuff over. You know, he brought in.
He's the guy that we all heard of being the one behind the scenes fixing horrible relationships with Vince.
Yeah, and of course, when it comes to Hall of Fame,
Sammartino?
Yeah, Santino, Ultimate Warrior.
That one we maybe shouldn't have fixed.
So yeah,
I guess it killed him. So
damn,
mixed bag,
dude. People have such hard takes on the Warrior. Warrior is a bad
Warrior
wasn't a good person, but the takes on Warrior.
I've read the things that he had said. I've read all of them.
Some horrible stuff.
It was not good. It was not good. There are some people that don't deserve to get a voice back in society. The people who use their voice in that way, I would say, are that way. He probably didn't, but at least he died.
Here's my thing. I feel every human being gets three uh-ohs before, like, you know, strike one. Hey, dude, that's a fucking horrible take. Let's regroup. Strike two. All right, that's another one. I'm like baseball. I give 3 strikes. But I think he was past 3 strikes. I think
he was way past 3 strikes.
Because, like, a lot of times, if someone will do something horrible, but they turn their life around, you should be able to forgive them. I think everyone.
I wonder
if
they ever checked him for CTE. Actually.
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe they would have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how you get on that.
I wonder
list.
actually how much they're looking into wrestler CTE shit.
I don't know.
At this point, that's another topic. But
what about infantry? We got 2 infantrymen here that probably their brains.
There's no way they're gonna ever let that research will get shoved way down. You know how many disability checks that are gonna get signed over that?
Well, what you call it? The funny thing is, I was part of an experiment, and it was because I used to fight.
Dudes, huh?
No. I used to fight, so they want to know what happens to a fighter's brain. And then when they said I was a veteran, they disqualified me.
Oh.
I was like, I was a veteran. And they're like, what? Like, admin? Infantry. They're like, disqualified.
Like, sorry, that's added trauma that's going to throw off the whole test.
Yeah. It was just awkward because they're like, man, you're perfect. You know, you've been punched ahead 1,000,000 times. And I was like, yeah. Really bad concussions.
But let me tell you about Blast I've been next to.
And they're like, all right, listen. We want to help the athletes, not the infantry.
Have I told you about the Humvee that flipped?
Wow, Triple H. Concussions, right? Triple H.
I think H being in charge of it, though, is going to be... Ideally, it's going to be a big deal. I think it's going to change things a lot. I'm interested to see if it opens up to where he tries to induct more guys who weren't necessarily WWE guys ever.
I feel, and this ain't a hot take, a lot of people have said this, and I know a long time ago in the early 2000s, they were looking for Universal Studios. So those that don't know, Universal Studio has 2 parks in Orlando, and there's like a NASCAR and NBA, and there's like a lot of expensive restaurants where you can walk back and forth. It's really beautiful. Take your family. 10 out of 10. With that said, they wanted to make the WWE Hall of Fame in there with the NASCAR and the NBA in Orlando. But they were talking about that in the 2000s, and that still hasn't. I think they have to make a restaurant with a Hall of Fame on top, and I think Universal Studios is the best place for it. You know, but who knows? Maybe if you get signs, who knows where they're going to sign a TV deal. But it would be nice to have a real Hall of Fame. And Triple H, I feel like the WWE Hall of Fame, for it being a company Hall of Fame isn't the worst. It could be way worse.
Oh yeah.
But I think, in my opinion, you need more luchadors, a few more European wrestlers, and more Japanese wrestlers. Like, I feel like Lucha Japan have so many wrestlers that helped pro wrestling. And on top of that, there's a handful of European wrestlers that should probably be remembered forever. So,
There's also, I think there's some pioneers in women wrestling that could use the nod too.
oh yeah. Especially I'm thinking in Japan style, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Who do you think in North America? I don't know. Is Molly Holly? I don't know who's
Oh,
in
it's
the
harder
Hall of
for
Fame.
North America.
Yeah. In Japan, there's a list because they've been kicking the hell out of each other for
Yeah,
years.
Japan, I feel like it's a lot longer. Well,
Yeah.
Amazing Kong.
Yeah. Amazing or Awesome Kong. Which one do you call her? I always call her Awesome Kong. Are you an Awesome Kong or an
I
Amazing Kong
switch it.
guy?
Awesome Kong's the one my brain thinks of more, but Amazing's the one that, like, sometimes I'm like, she's Amazing Kong.
Got it. She's awesome. She's such a kind person.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think she's a pioneer for it, and her getting it would make a lot of sense. There are a lot of women like her though that I think.
Yeah.
They were
Like, I don't know
such
if Gail
icons
Kim.
for the scene.
Gail Kim.
Oh yeah, Gail
There's
Kim.
there's so many. Molly Holly. I think Molly Holly could make it. But the thing is too, like, you can do a lot of these pioneers, but the world has changed. So, like, people like, you did something horrible in the 80s. Everyone did something horrible in the 80s.
Yes, we all did. It was the 80s. Wrestlers were terrible.
But yeah.
I told you about the Moolah.
But I mean, if they've been talking about this Hall of Fame building for when I was working with WWE, it was in the early 2000s, and they were talking about it then. They must not be moving it forward at all.
Well, the crazy thing is, like,
don't they have the
I
PC
feel like
Center?
it's actually something people would go to.
Why don't they put it next to NXT Center? Do they actually
That's
own
a
the
good
PC
idea
Center?
too, to like where people could go to the Hall of Fame. Well, they don't even have to have it next to it. It could just be in the same city.
Yeah,
Just get it in
Orlando. Yeah.
If it's in Orlando, it makes it where now people can think of the idea of, oh, hey, let's go see the WWE Hall of Fame and go to NXT.
Dude, that's a road trip. I'm on board.
Right? That's a cool trip.
Hell
It's
yeah.
like, let's go see the WWE Hall of Fame and go to an NXT. Like, that's a cool trip. Like,
it kind of has the same.
A lot different than. No, go ahead.
I don't know. I say it has the same feel. I apologize for cutting you off, sir. It has
No, it's fine.
It has the same feel as the Hall of Fame game and the NFL Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah,
the NFL Hall of Fame is a cool road trip, but going to the NFL Hall of Fame and watching a Hall of Fame game, that's like, oh, that top tier road trip.
It makes it upgrades it because it's got there's more to do. It's more interesting. Plus, you put it in Orlando, and now you've added it to a tourist hub to begin with. You put it in a place where people are going for theme parks, vacation galore to Orlando. And now there's also a WWE Hall of Fame. I bet there are a ton of people that their kids would be like, they're teenagers or whatever, who are into WWE, or even tons
I think
of
a lot of
families where
dads would sneak out too,
see it. Yeah. Like, I think there's definitely, they could be making money with it. And we all know from that warehouse, we've all seen, well, most of us, I think, have seen, if you like WWE a lot, you've probably seen at least one video in that warehouse. They have everything. They have so much stuff hoarded that they could be making money with it, as they could have a really cool museum.
Yeah, it would be really, really awesome, to be honest. That's not bad. I like this idea a lot. H,
Like,
write
honestly,
this down.
Oh man, it would be really cool if it was like a half and half building. The WWE Hall of Fame and a wrestling history museum.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Like, think about it. One side you have wrestling history. They can include iconic stuff from their own history,
like
stuff
Inoki,
from other
Muda.
people's history. Yeah, like they could have so many iconic wrestling pictures framed on the wall, stuff like that. All sorts of cool wrestling stuff. And then on the other half is the WWE Hall of Fame. Like, these are the guys recognized as the best ever. The guys and girls.
Yeah, but I think I would
never did it.
I'm just saying, from a marketing standpoint, I think I would mix it up, because you want marketing wise, you want WWE
like
to be the
the
king.
WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame and History Museum kind of a
Something like
thing.
that. I wouldn't have it as separate. I would just have it as one big thing because you want a tourist to go in and think Inoki, Muda, Mascaras. You want them to go in and go, oh look, that's a WWE guy.
Yeah.
So like
That's
it
true.
adds
That's
to their marketing.
I also, man, how cool could that be though? Like just think of like, imagine it in your head, the visual experience of like going to this place and just all they have to do is have like the entrance hallway to basically the admissions. Just have it be this nice hallway that's just lined with like these iconic photos or displays with wrestling gear in it and stuff like that along the walls, where just the wait to get in is just neat little history stuff that you can look at and read while you're getting up there to get your ticket. It would get you so in the mood to go in and see what's in there and what everything is there. And they could just make it where that whole entrance is WWE centric as fuck.
And on top of that, Triple H is a big NXT guy. You get the NXT guys in there to get used to working with fans.
God,
So
he loves NWA.
there's probably
if
a
he could
lot
get NWA.
What's that?
He loves NWA too. If he could get NWA, God, I think he'd do anything to get NWA stuff.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the NXT athletes can go to the museum and they get used to interacting with fans. It's more of a controlled statement. Yeah. Because like there are people that are like there are athletes that understand how to deal with fans and those that don't. And as a guy that worked in sports and marketing and wrestling, dude, you'd be surprised how dumb some of these wrestlers and athletes are.
You know what could be really cool too? They could set up a ring in there and they could have a match of the day at a set time every day where they just have two NXT wrestlers come over and just have a match at that time.
And then just for shits and giggles, Shawn Michaels, like, all right, it's me and Triple H. Like, what the fuck?
Like it could be so cool though.
Yeah, there's a lot of options they can do with it. And not only that, but it could also be a training experience. Plus, it gives the legends something to do. Like,
training. Oh wow!
What the fuck?
Legends too.
Like, what is Hillbilly Jim doing right now? Hopefully, he's not dead.
Because normally, because you got to think,
dead.
normally those legends do the circuit of just going around, going to cons to basically get autographs and stuff. If they could set up where they could sell autographs through the shop in the Hall of Fame, while also occasionally working at the Hall of Fame, like meeting people and stuff, doing meet and greet, like basically, like say they get a schedule set up, and they're like, this is this month's schedule. This day, these days are this wrestler, these days are this wrestler, and just like then people can plan their trips out even more. They know, like, all right, let's go these days because then this is going to be this wrestler, this wrestler. We could go see one of them on one of these days. That sort of thing could be really cool. Also, another idea is like you were saying, getting the younger wrestlers used to interacting with fans and everything. How cool would it be to have like younger wrestlers take them through it and like have them be like, hey, so like think about the moment that inspired you the most out of all these moments in here. All right, we want you to like, we're going to set a time and we just want you to talk to the fans about that moment and what it meant to you as a wrestler.
Yeah, because also probably get them ready for documentaries, which is a big aspect of WWE business.
The more we've talked about it, the more convinced I am that it's a perfect idea they need to do.
Get on that, Triple H.
There's so much for them to do.
Because let me tell you, if I came back to America and I said, hey, we're going to meet up in Orlando and we're going to check out the Wrestling Hall of Fame, WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame, and an NXT show, it sounds like a perfect fucking getaway. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just a perfect trip for fans.
There is the flip side of it might be worth waiting for them right now because with the whole work from home, remote work, etc., a lot of leases and stuff I think are going to be changing. There might become a lot of buildings that become freed up that they could get a lot cheaper in coming years.
Yeah.
Also, they may not necessarily decide they want to stay in Orlando. If hypothetically, if say Disney moves or makes their other location more important, you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
So I can get why they're hesitant right now with everything. But I think, it's something they need to do.
Well, the thing is, like, if it's by NXT or by WWE PC Center, it's not that close to Disney, so that wouldn't affect it too much. But like, if the original plan was to put it by Universal Studios, what if Universal Studios is like, we're done? That's just a parking lot. That turns into the second, Universal Studios leaves. That's a parking lot.
I think though, if it's paired with the Performance Center as a, like where you can set it up as a double plan, like, hey, let's go to an NXT taping and visit the museum. I think no matter where it is, it becomes for wrestling fans, it becomes a much more appealing destination.
It's also safer. You don't have to rely on Disney or Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Where like if you put it in Orlando and it's not near NXT, not near the PC Center, that's a factor. And then if you're that close to Universal, that's a factor.
Think about the double duty they could have Legends do too. Like they could have Legends, like say they could be like, hey,
get Jake the Snake.
Hey Jake, we want you to come do a couple promo classes during the week at the Performance Center, and then also a couple days where you just go like sign autographs and like meet and greet at the Hall of Fame. And it becomes this really cool thing where both their wrestlers are learning from knowledge of these greats. The greats are getting a good feel of like still being involved, still mattering. It doesn't feel like they're getting thrown aside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're also being given the opportunity to earn their primary way they've been earning anyways, which is autographs, signings, meet and greets, keeping their fan connection. It adds value to the Performance Center for the wrestlers to learn. It adds value to the Hall of Fame for people going. Like, I don't know, man. It's so good.
Yeah,
this is so good for them.
Yeah, and just to add on to the Hall of Fame thing, the Legend contract, you get the merch and maybe you get the video game. But with the Hall of Fame, you get the merch, you get the merch, possibly the video game, because it's harder to get the video game than the merch. You get the merch, the video game, and then you get like a legit real job.
Yeah,
and a lot of times
you get the option to go and do dates and do actual stuff.
Yeah. I like this a lot. I'm glad me and you agree. Triple H, make it happen.
Triple H, contact Wrestle AM if you need to put two guys in charge of it. We'll make it happen. I'm in the U.S.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. I'd move back.
All I want is the
Triple H just pulls up my file. Didn't you in 2007 say no to re-signing with you? Well, a lot has changed since then, H.
You're in charge now, H.
I was waiting for you to be in charge,
no
H.
To Vince re-signing me.
He's like, we don't give nerds many contracts, and you said no. Yeah, well, I had a lot on my plate back then, H.
But what about this Hall of Fame, H?
Yeah, let's do it, H. Make it happen.